Not crazy about those ears though. I like my big Dumbo Simmy ears. I'm walking in a tire track because if I don't, I start sinking. Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to Ohrmundt Simmentals. So it is Tuesday afternoon. We did kind of make a cutoff. Today was the cutoff if I did not have any viable options or whatever for bull purchasers. I just literally, before I turned on the camera, hit the send button, and our bulls are getting consigned to a bull sale. First on the list today, I'm going to feed a bale of hay to the cows, to the main group. One, to start give them something to eat. And then two, help them draw them off that field, because it is a little bit cumbersome the way I want to rotate. And I'll flip you around here. So I'm going to put a bale, I'll divvy it up into two feeders. But to get them coming off of this field and then into this opening right here, but not straight on. If I was making it easy on myself, I'd bring them onto that field and then bring them right up against this fence line right here. I like to end on this fence line right here because it makes them taking them down the alley a lot easier. This is one reason why I'm not fond of our rain, because they made this, especially this area, they made it twice as bad as it was before. At least they weren't able to get up into here anymore. If I knew we were supposed to get that much rain, I would have put this line back up and let them have this chunk and this chunk. Would have mitigated a little bit of this damage, but this is bad. All right, the goal here, and hopefully you can hear me, the goal here is to divvy this up into 3 chunks as well. So we've got this line that comes down here. The corner is about right in there somewhere, and then we come back with another line over here. So if I kind of look at, you know, where I'm at, I'm thinking about somewhere here. Now I've done this a bunch of times, so I know about where it is. So I want to go about to here, because then I'll have the longest stretch and go out to about here, and then that chunk. That went really well. No issues. They must be pretty darn hungry because they didn't trample nothing down, and they haven't started running yet, which is good. I hate it when they get on fields like this, because I love this field, and they just run back and forth, and they just kill everything. So everybody's seems to be doing pretty good. Factor has the day off today apparently, right buddy? Yeah, I know. He's learning. He's been okay. Liking this eagle calf. Not crazy about those ears though. I like my big Dumbo Simmy ears. But do like the big butts though. And this bold ruler's doing a nice job too. Bankroll is, didn't your mom ever tell you you're not supposed to play with your food? He's been just having a good old time. I grabbed a second crop bale and just popped the shell off. If I know I've mentioned it once or twice before, but if you guys want other locations to kind of check out day-to-day, maybe a little bit more day-to-day just picks, real short clips. I know I post a reel once in a while, or short once in a while. But you can also search Ohrmundt Simmentals on Instagram. Hey, how's it going? It is Wednesday afternoon. It's actually pretty decent out. So right now, we want to bed those two bulls a little bit. Their spot got a little messy. Well, we didn't give them a whole ton of bedding the other day. So we're going to try to grab some bedding or some hay out of one of these feeders I gave the cows yesterday before I moved them, and try and use that. Okay, so Dad and I stopped at the field by the house, just to kind of get an idea of how the corn's coming up. And it is up. I would say if the ground is at all somewhat dry, the corn is up. It hasn't actually even, the leaves haven't even branched out yet, so they are just coming, but they are coming, which is good. But Dad had me go down to the other end. So as a reference, there's Mom and Dad's house and the shop and farm. So this is down by that wet hole, hence the standing water. This isn't a huge spot. Like if we had another dry day, I mean, there's a spot over there too. It wouldn't be as bad. But even, I mean, I'm walking in a tire track. Because if I don't, I start sinking. But where was it? Like here's one, here's one. So in the wet stuff, it's starting to come. That's soft. So even in the wet stuff, it's starting to come a little bit. It is Thursday afternoon. BR has become our talker now. You want to go, buddy? He moves wherever I want him to go. I'm not super worried about him being in his own pen by himself. I'm sure he's not liking that though. We kept these 3 heifers in mostly because that's the one that came into heat. And these 2, they are quite a bit smaller than the other 2, or than the other group. And then we're waiting on this young lady right here to have our last calf of the year, which should be coming in the next week. All right, so, and I'll show us a little bit more later, but you can tell they did a really nice job. It's pretty evenly trimmed down, but we're still leaving, 6-7 inches of stubble. So now we have the rest of this field, and the goal was to cut this into thirds. So now all I need to do is kind of divvy up the rest of this in half, but also knowing that the further I come to the left, the shorter the run gets, because I'm a lot shorter getting over towards the road than I am getting that way. So I don't find the distance split it directly in half. I shade a little to the right, knowing that it's going to be a longer strip. But I think I'm going to head, yeah, that looks about right. There's that tree that's right over there. Not the big ones, but there's one right, if you saw that red truck, the one right in front of that. So I think we're going to head to that, and then that should leave plenty for the last chunk. Just in case I give a little less here, I'd rather have a little more on that last chunk. And they want their grass, so I'll be back. All right, so we got three lost souls, I guess. They just happen to be walking down this way, and right at the end, and of course they're just like, oh my god, everybody's gone. Okay, so now the other reason I grabbed the camera is as you're looking at the chunk they just came out of, I think it looks really, really good, actually. I mean, there's a lot of forage left here, but the idea is it's either got to get, it needs to get disturbed. It either needs to get eaten or trampled. And there is a lot of both. This is what I would call really, really good utilization of the grass. And that's the whole reason for the rotational grazing and temp fence, is getting them into a chunk small enough and having frequent enough moves that they utilize all of the forage. Whether that is, you know, they're going to come in here and they're going to eat stuff like the orchard grass, the alfalfas, the clovers. They're going to start with that. But what we want them to eat is then the grass that they don't necessarily like that much. You know, it's kind of like for us. Do we always want to eat our vegetables? No, we just want pizza. We just want pizza. You know, we want ice cream, all that kind of stuff. We want the good stuff. We don't want to have to meddle with carrots and cauliflower and broccoli and that kind of stuff. But it puts them in a chunk to utilize that stuff because it is good for them. Even that chunk over here where I have the weed problem. You know, like I said, the second chunk should have been smaller, or I should have let them on there for another day. All right, hopefully they got their little back and forth runnies out of the way. The other nice thing is when you know they're a little hungry, they take care of the edging for you, so you can walk along the edge. And Cher's looking nice. It sucks she doesn't have a calf on her, so she's actually getting a little fat, but hopefully that takes care of her for the long run and we never have that issue again. Oh, I want to get a picture of her. The heifers really join the crowd nicely. They're not being jerks or nothing like that. It's a pretty decent crew, so I didn't really have too many thoughts that there would be issues. I think Factor made his way all the way down there already. I'm not gonna go over there. Let them chill and hang out. But looking at this grass, it's pretty nice. Like, I think this is bluegrass. I'm pretty sure it's bluegrass. There's a lot of it here. It's not, 99% it's not ryegrass. Pretty sure it's bluegrass. But then we do have some orchard. Got some orchard grass in here. And then down in there, there's clover. And the clovers will come in a lot more once this gets trimmed off. You'll notice the clovers will pop in this chunk in about a week. They'll be about 2-3 inches tall. It's kind of cool. But everybody seems to be doing pretty darn nice. All right, that is all that I needed to do tonight. So hopefully that kind of better explains why we want to do this. The other nice thing is it really gets the animals trained to one single line. Hence the reason you want a good fencer. And you're always moving the animals, so you're always seeing them mean, granted, this is literally right next to the house, so you know, there's that. But you know, I would say the one negative, and I've seen a couple other people mention this too, is sometimes when you move them every day or every other day, it's like as soon as you go out there, they're like, oh, wait a minute, it's move time already? I'm being properly supervised. Our dog always hangs out in the shade, always. Hey, how's it going? Happy Friday. Not a whole heck of a lot on the list for tonight. If we get done soon enough, I might bust out the brush hog, or at least hook it up. I may have said we had an actual brush cutter or brush hog. We have a Rhino EC72. Got this about 5 years ago. It's in pretty decent shape. So what we want is to be fairly level, maybe a tick high in the back, but I want to be, for what I like, for what we're doing, I want to be like a couple inches, that skid plate a couple inches above the ground. And then for our cutter, when it's in its operating position, operating height like it is now, we want this, we want that to be loose like that. It could be maybe a tick tighter. And then once you set that, we leave that on an adjustable top link. This top link arm. And then once it's set, then this is your jam nut. You just tighten it up. I could probably hit it. I'm gonna have to hit it. Just hit that with a hammer or a pin. I probably got a pin, so that it doesn't loosen up as easy. It probably will. Alright, so that didn't go too bad. I still have a little bit to do, but I got a couple things I got to do right now. This is the end of the day, end of the week. Hope you guys liked the video. If you got any questions, please leave them in the comments. Hope you guys have a great Friday and a great weekend. Thanks for coming along.